So an NYU student who self-identifies as a gay trans man is being punished by the university for usurping his speech to do a defense of Palestine. This is from the Daily Mail.
My moral and political commitments guide me to say that the only thing that is appropriate to say in this time and to a group this large is a recognition of the atrocities currently happening in Palestine. The genocide currently occurring is supported politically and militarily by the United States, is paid for by our tax dollars, and has been live streamed to our phones for the past 18 months. And that I do not wish to speak only to my own politics today, but to speak for all people of conscience, and all people who feel the moral injury of this atrocity. And I want to say that I condemn this genocide and complicity in this genocide. Thank you to the class of 2025, and congratulations.
Okay. All right. So New York University has now denied his diploma to this student who used his graduation speech to criticize Israel and condemn the genocide, the so-called genocide in Gaza, which that in of itself, of course, is ridiculous and preposterous because that trivializes what genocide actually means. Now, Logan Rozos, or whatever, 24 years old, who is self-described as an actor, an artist, and a gay black transformer man, gave the controversial remarks at NYU's Gallatin school commencement ceremony on Wednesday. Now, I want to point out the irony of defending Palestine as a gay trans man, because that culture would absolutely, unalive you or kill you if you were to go there and live there. They don't. The Palestinian community does not like gay people whatsoever. You'd be more likely to be thrown off a roof than anything else. But he's also an idiot, and there are a lot of people like him who have no understanding of the history between Israel and Palestine and the other Arab nations in their general vicinity. Israel has been under attack by Palestine over the last 2.5 decades, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands at this point, of attacks from Palestine. The October 7th attack was just the latest in a never-ending stream of violence against Israel. It blows my mind that Israel, by defending themselves, is always the bad guy. For as long as I've been alive, every time Israel strikes back after being hit, they're told, well, you're only allowed to do proportionate response. And I find that maddening. If Mexico, for example, started attacking the U.S., I don't think we would care about proportionate response. Israel has a right to not let themselves be killed. I don't feel bad whatsoever for Palestine. I don't. I feel bad for the innocent people there, but they haven't yet unconditionally surrendered. And so in my book, until that happens, I have no problem with Israel continuing to meat grind through the vicinity. War is ugly. A military is meant for one purpose, not to be the police, not to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but they are there to kill and break things. And Israel, for the first time in my entire life, has had enough, and they're actually trying to end the threat once and for all. This is why you see the push to move all of them out. Because even now, the Palestinian leadership, they could end the suffering by unconditionally surrendering to the Israel Authority, ending the war like Nazi Germany in World War II. The Allies weren't going to stop just leveling and destroying and wiping out the German people until they unconditionally surrendered. Hamas hasn't yet done that. And all the propaganda in the world isn't going to change my mind on Israel's right to continue to wipe out their enemies. Until there is an actual surrendering, it is what it is. War is bad. War sucks. War is hell. Anyway, according to the Daily Mail, the speech went viral online and sparked waves of backlash from critics demanding that the school take action. Universities across the country have faced tremendous pressure to crack down on pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel speech or risk funding cuts from President Donald Trump's administration. Well, that's also because a couple of things. Number one, the pro-Palestinian or actually pro-genocide of Israel people. That's why the river to the sea, that means wipe them out from the river to the sea, which means Israel and all of the Israelites within would no longer exist if that were to come true. And also, they're trying to crack down on it because you have a lot of pro-terrorism, pro-evil students coming from abroad. So why in the world would we want to coddle and bring these people in when we already have enough problems here at home? Anyway, the university has now issued a statement apologizing for the speech and vowed to punish Rozos, the transformer, more than meets the eye, by withholding his diploma. They said he lied about the speech he was going to deliver and violated the commitment he made to comply with our rules. In other words, he's a liar and a bastard. The university is withholding his diploma while we pursue disciplinary actions. NYU strongly denounces the choice by a student at the Gallatin School's graduation today, one of over 20 school graduation ceremonies across our campus, to misuse his role as student speaker to express his personal and one-sided political views. NYU is deeply sorry that the audience was subjected to these remarks and that this moment was stolen by someone who abused a privilege that was conferred upon him. Fellow students selected the transformer, the actor and member of the Gallatin Theater troupe, to deliver the liberal art program address. Well, there you go. In his online biography, Rozos described himself, once again, as actor, artist, and gay transformer black man. His speech was condemned by anti-Semitism groups and some lawmakers who warned that actions have consequences. The Anti-Defamation League, the pro-Jewish group, said, "We are appalled to hear that during NYU University's graduation, a student speaker altered their approved speech to make divisive and false comments about the current Israel-Hamas war. We are thankful to the NYU administration for their strong condemnation and the pursuit of disciplinary action." And Florida Democrat Representative Jared Moskowitz criticized Rozos during a news panel on CNN Thursday, saying he lied to the university, he lied to everyone listening, there's no genocide going on in Israel. That's just the reality. There is a war, it's unfortunate, and there are people in harm's way because of what Hamas did. But at the end of the day, that's up to the university whether they give him his diploma or not. You know, in fact, they can give him his diploma. It's not going to matter. Good luck getting a job. That was a stupid, selfish thing, ruined the ceremony for a lot of families. Now, Rozos' supporters praised him for using the platform to speak out and have demanded that the school give him his diploma, because of course they did. They said, "We commend Logan, the transformer, for using this opportunity to demand an end to the bloodshed in Gaza. In a world where the word Palestine has become wrongfully criminalized, even though there's a lot of monsters living within Palestine, it is individuals like Logan who keep Palestine in our consciousness and at the forefront of our actions. We demand that NYU formally release Logan's diploma, which he rightfully earned, even though he's a lying bastard, and suspend any disciplinary proceedings against him, because of course that's what they would demand." But the bottom line is, the transformer man doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't seem to get that he would be first in line to be thrown off a building if he were to go to Palestine, pre or probably post-war. I mean, what else are you going to do? Ignorance is as ignorance does.